Morning students, how are you all? Welcome to another class of history. Today is our second class of our half yearly session, and today's topic is the causes of the Industrial Revolution. That is from our Oxford History Project book, page 28 and 29, and these two pages are related to the workbook, page 18. There is a map on page 18 that we are going to solve today, okay? The first map we have on page 18 on our workbook, and from page 28 from our Oxford History Project book. I hope all of you got your syllabus for your half-yearly examination. I gave the page numbers from our Oxford History Project book and workbook also in my previous class. Okay. Open page number 28 from your Oxford History Project book. Page number 28 from Oxford History Project book, that is the causes of the Industrial Revolution. The causes of the Industrial Revolution. This one, these two pages. The map is on page 28. We are going to solve this map today on our workbook, page 18. Okay, first I will discuss these two pages and the answers of the workbook, then I will tell you how to solve the map. Open page 28. The first paragraph, why did this great change from farming to industry happen so suddenly in Britain between about 1750 and 1850 and in other parts of Europe in a little later? There are three main reasons: colonies, increased trade and wealth, and growing populations. Here we can see that why the Industrial Revolution took place from 1750 and 1850. The causes of the Industrial Revolution there are three main reasons for Industrial Revolution. The three main reasons were colonies, increased trade and wealth, and growing populations. Now the second para, colonies. Colonies. The first cause of the Industrial Revolution, colonies. In the 16th, 17th and 18th centuries, the European powers, Spain, Portugal, France, Holland and Britain seized huge areas of land overseas as colonies. They brought back large amounts of raw materials such as tea, sugar, cotton, tobacco, spices, silks, furs, and gold and silver. The merchants wanted more and more goods to take to these overseas countries to trade. They needed more and larger ships to carry the goods. The ships needed all kinds of equipment such as guns, ropes, and many kinds of metal articles. The old way of making everything by hand was just too slow to supply all of the things the merchants and traders wanted. Here we can see that colonies were the source of the raw materials such as tea, sugar, cotton, spices, furs, silks, gold and silver, and other gold and silvers. Okay, the merchants wanted more goods to take this overseas country to trade. They also needed more and larger ships to carry the goods. Okay, and the ships needed all kinds of equipment such as guns, ropes, and many kind of metal articles. Now, second para is about growing population. For a number of reasons, the population of Europe and especially Britain began to increase in the 18th century. More people needed more houses, clothes, furniture, pottery, food, pots and pans, and other things. All of these meant more tools, iron goods, coal and buildings had to be produced. Once again, the old way of making all of these things by hand became too slow and too expensive also. People had to find out methods of producing them more quickly and cheaply. Okay? In this para, we can see that the growing population meant that goods for the people had to be produced quickly and cheaply and in large quantities as well. More people needed more houses. Then houses, they needed people needed houses, clothes, furniture, pottery, pots, pots and other things also. And all of these meant more tools such as iron goods, coal, and building all of these things that became too slow and too expensive as well. If you make anything by hand, if you made anything by hand, that thing will be will take time. Okay, that's why it became expensive. But at that time, people had to find out methods of producing them more quickly and cheaply. That is one of the causes of the industrial revolution, to make things quickly, cheaply, and in larger quantities, in large quantities. Capital. Merchants in Europe, especially Holland and Britain, were very rich. They did not just want to keep their money but to invest it in something that would make more. They saw that new methods of producing goods quickly could bring them great profits and were anxious to help inventors and others who seemed able to do this. Okay? Capital encouraged new investors and growth of industry and trade. Uh, they realized that new methods of new methods of producing goods quickly could bring them more profits. They realized that new methods of producing goods quickly could bring them more profit. Next para. Unlike most countries of Europe, Britain had settled her quarrels about religion and politics. The people were united and had great freedom. They could worship as they liked or not worship at all. The nobles had little power over the ordinary people, so that there was no danger of revolution as in France and elsewhere. An elected parliament ruled the country, not the king alone, so the people had some say in making the laws. There had been a great change in farming in Britain in the early 18th century. The land now produced very much more than it had before with far fewer workers. This meant that people were available to go to work in the factories in the cities when these were built, and there would still be plenty of food. Now from this para we can see that unlike most countries of Europe, Britain had settled her quarrels with about religion and politics. Then the nobles had little power over the ordinary people, so that there was no danger of the revolution, France and elsewhere. An elected parliament ruled the country, not the king alone. Okay, so the people had some say in making the laws. Next para, British merchants were especially rich. Many had made great fortunes trading with America, sending slaves from Africa and bringing cotton, tobacco and sugar to England. Merchants trading with India were also rich. They all had large amounts of money which they wanted to invest. This money encouraged the growth of a good banking system which helped industry trade to grow. Britain had large supplies of coal and iron which were easy to dig up. These were very important when wooden merchants were replaced by iron arms. And when steam engines took over from wind, water and animal power, there were also many skilled craftsmen and inventors. Many of them noblemen who studied science for amusement. Okay, from this para we can see that merchants were especially very rich. Merchants had large amounts of money which they wanted to invest. This money encouraged to growth, the growth of good banking system which help industry and trade to grow. Okay, because why the industry and trade grew? Because the merchants wanted to invest their money. They were very rich. Britain had large supplies of coal and iron, which were easy to dig up. Very important when wooden. These were very important when wooden machines were replaced by the iron ones. There were also many skilled craftsmen and inventors at that time. Okay, now I'm going to discuss the answer from workbook related to these two pages. Do not write anything during the class time, or do not write anything by watching the recorded live. Okay, you will get every notes as your handouts from workbook and work question as well. So copy the notes from your worksheet. This is the map that we are going to solve. First of all, I will discuss question number 2. Why were these things important causes of the Industrial Revolution? These things means colony. These things mean colony, trade, money, and rising population. Colony, trade, money, and rising population. The causes of the Industrial Revolution. There is a diagram. Inside the diagram, it is written: colonies, trade, money, rising population. Okay. Now, question number 2. Why were these things important causes of the Industrial Revolution? First cause is about colonies. Okay, why colonies was important? Because colonies were source of raw materials and center of trade where merchants could sell goods. Colonies were sources of raw material and centers of trade where merchants could sell goods. Okay, there is a question. Very soon, you will get your handout very soon. Okay, check your portal. Check your portal and tell me that you have got the handout of lesson 1. Capital. Okay. Number B, capital. In capital encourage new investors and growth of industry and trade. Capital encouraged new investors and growth of industry and trade. At that time, the merchants were very rich and they wanted to invest their money for the growth of industry and trade. It helped, it encouraged new investors. Okay. The growing population of Europe, especially Britain. Growing population of Europe meant that goods for the people had to be produced quickly, cheaply, and in large quantities. Okay. When you produce a thing in large quantities, that became cheap. That goods became cheaper. 4 main things helped Britain became question number 3. 4 main things helped Britain become industrialized before anywhere else. Say briefly what each thing was in the chart below. There is a diagram given. Bottom of your page there is a diagram. Inside the diagram it is written Industrial Revolution and there are 4 boxes A, B, C, D. Inside the box you will write down the answer like this. Okay. You write down the answer like this. A. Settlement of religious and political quarrels. The nobles had little power, while common people had greater freedom. They worshipped as the light and the country was stable. Okay. This answer is about 4 main things helped Britain become industrialized before anywhere else. 4 things. One reason is settlement of religious and political quarrels, and the nobles had very little power, while common people had greater freedom, and they are worshipped as the light, and the country was stable. Number B, changes in farming. Number B, there was a change in changes in farming system. As a result of this, there was sufficient food. This also meant that more people could now work in factories. Okay. Now, second cause is changes in farming. As a result of this, there was sufficient food. This also meant that more people could now work in factories. The employment system was very good at that time. More people had work in factories. The rich merchants who trade, the rich merchants, number C, the rich merchants who traded with colonies. The rich merchants who traded with colonies were rich and invested in new factories. These helped the growth of banking and trade. The rich merchants who traded with colonies were rich and invested in new factories. This helped the growth of banking and trade. As I told you that the merchants were very rich at that time and they wanted to invest their money in factories and trade and in banking system as well. The last one is D, large supplies of coal and iron. Coal was fuel for new machines, while iron was used to make new machines. There were also many skilled craftsmen and inventors. Okay, there was large supplies of coal and iron. Coal was used for the coal was the fuel for the new machines, while iron at the time iron was used to make new machines. There were also many skilled craftsmen and inventors as well. So now page number 28, open page number 28 from your main book. The map is done here. On this world map, question number 1 from page 18, the map. On this world map, the colonies of Britain, France, Holland, Spain and Portugal in the 18th century. We need to mark Britain, France, Holland, Spain and Portugal on this map. Britain, France, Holland, Spain, Portugal. We will label these 5 points inside our map. We will color these 5 places inside the map and we will label the map outside of the map. Okay, label these places outside of the map. If you are doing Britain part with pink color, it will be pink. The box will be pink. Okay. Now look at your book, page 28. It is written as British, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, French. Okay, it will be Britain. Britain is pink color part in your book. The pink color part in your book. Okay. This is the pink color part in your book. This part is British. Britain. Pink color part is Britain. Tell me if you can see this one and then this one. Okay, this part. Then come to the next point, that is France. France is done with, I think it is blue color. It is blue color inside North America. inside North America. This part, okay, this blue part, that is France. Now the second point is Holland. It is done as dark in your book. In your book, yellow color. Holland is yellow part, this part, South America, inside South America, this part. This one. This one is Holland. If you follow your book, it will be easy for you to color the map. Yes, you will get the map on your study note, and the map is done in your book. If you follow your book, it will be easier for you to solve the map, okay? So, the next one is Holland is this one. Holland is Dutch, that is this one. Then Spain, the greenish one. The greenish part is Spain, that is between North America and South America. That is between North America, the greenish part. Can you see the greenish part between North America and South America? North America and South America. The greenish part is Spain, the green one, and the orangish one is Holland. The orangish one is Holland. Now the last one is Portugal. Last one is Portugal, that is yellow part. That is yellow part. The bottom of Africa, three parts. There are three parts, bottom of Africa. That three parts will be Portugal. Okay. There will be 5 points in your map. Inside the map you will color with 5 different colors, and outside the map you will label with those 5 colors. If you are doing Britain with pink color, the box beside Britain will be filled with pink colors. The same thing if you are doing France with blue color, this box will be colored with blue. The next one is Holland. If you are doing Holland with yellow or orange color, this box will be colored with orange. Okay. Then Spain, the same thing. Spain is done with greenish color in your book. If you are doing this Spain part inside the map with green color, this box will be colored with green also. Portugal is done with yellow part. Bottom of the Africa there are 3 small parts done with yellow color. Those 3 parts are Portugal. Okay. If you are doing it with yellow color inside the map, color the box beside Portugal outside the map with yellow color as well. Okay. If you select wrong color for Britain, suppose you are doing pink color Britain inside the map, and outside the map you have filled this box with orange color, then the labeling will be wrong. You will get half mark. Okay. For coloring and labeling, if written point is equivalent with 1 mark, then you will get half of the mark for coloring only. If the labeling is wrong, you will get half of the mark. So it is very important that you color the map properly, and the labeling is also equally important. I hope this map is clear to you. And the causes of industrial revolution also. The 3 causes, that is colonies, increased trade and wealth, and growing population. When you will be memorizing the workbook. It is very important that you go through with these 2 pages that is related to this topic in your Oxford History Project book. Let me check some questions. Do you want to do the small parts of France, Europe? No. Let me check. Blue. Yes, you will do those small parts also. Like this. Look, this is France. This is France. This blue part. And this is France, the small part. So go through these 2 pages of the causes of the Industrial Revolution, that is colonies, increased trade and wealth and growing population. Read this para and try to solve the map. Try to solve the map properly, and labeling is very important. Whenever you will be labeling the map, it is very important that you pick up the same color that you are doing inside the map also. Okay. For short question and MCQ, it is very important that you read all the details from questions also. Lots of informations are given on the questions. Like on question number 3, 4 main things help Britain become industrialized before anywhere else. This sentence can come as true, false, or it can come in your MCQ also. Okay, 4 main things help Britain become industrialized before anywhere else. If this question sentence came in your exam, it will be a true sentence. If there is changes like 5 main things or 6 main things help Britain become industrialized before anywhere else, that will be false. That's why it is very important that you read the questions properly to know all the information. In our next class, I will discuss the effects of the Industrial Revolution. Try to read the pages of Oxford History Project Book, page 34, 35, 36, 37, okay, to understand the answers. The effects of the Industrial Revolution, the effects of the Industrial Revolution too. Okay, read these 2 pages, page 34 and 35 at home. Okay, today's class is about to finish, so everyone go through these pages at home. Goodbye for today. Okay, have a nice day.